Top il-full ma' Bradley Kakija.
Merħba għal episodju ieħor ta' Top il-Full, jiena Bradley Kakija u bħal kull ġimgħa se nkun qed niddiskutu tema relatata mal-Malti, jew naqbdu tema u norbtuha mal-Malti b'xi mod. U bħalma minna f'episodji oħrajn, intervistajt nies li ġew jgħixu Malta, jagħmlu Malta id-dar tagħhom qed irabbu l-eruq tagħhom f'Malta biex nifhmu daqsxejn l-esperjenza tagħhom mal-Malti u fiħdan il-komunità Maltija biex aħna wkoll nkunu nistgħu nifhmu aħjar il-perspettivi tagħhom u forsi xi kultant nkunu aktar ġusti magħhom u nkunu aktar imparlawna inqas fil-vojt xi kultant ukoll għax ġi jkollna tendenza niġġudikaw mingħajr ma nifhmu l-esperjenzi tan-nies u importanti ħafna li dal-programm kemm jista' jkun nipprova nagħti spazju biex dawn in-nies anke jispjegaw l-esperjenzi tagħhom. U għal dan ninan għandi miegħi żewġ mistednin mill-komunità Indjana f'Malta, għandi miegħi lil Rhythm Garg u lil Lucy Leela. Sewatu? Good. U magħhom se nkun qed niddiskuti daqsxejn l-esperjenza tagħhom meta ġew Malta, kif semgħu il-Malti għall-ewwel darba. U anka l-relazzjoni tagħhom mal-lingwa u anka l-lingwa nattiva tagħhom. First things first, ħankun qed nistaqsihom bl-Ingliż għax naf li iktar komdu għalikom. So first things first, I want you to introduce yourselves. Maybe we can start with Rhythm and then go to Lucy. Introduce yourself, tell us a bit about you. Feel free to express yourself in Maltese, in English. Kif fidejk.
Grazzi ħafna l-ewwel nett tal-istedina, jien nisimni Rhythm, għandi 17-il sena, palissa għaddejja bl-A levels. Ġejta Malta meta kelli naħseb 3 snin, ili għaw Malta ġifieri għal ħafna snin. Ftit iktar dwar jien attiva wkoll fl-attivizmu, ġifieri niforma parti mill-Kunsill Nazzjonali taż-Żgħażagħ u pala studju qed nifoka fuq ix-xjenza, ġifieri physics, chemistry.
Qabel kon qed ngħidu l-oppost tiegħi għax jiena ħafna fuq l-arti. I'm focused more on the arts and Rhythm is more focused on sciences. How about you, Lucy?
Hi, good afternoon and thank you for having us here.
Thank you for coming.
Right. I'm Lucy. I work as a scrub nurse at Mater Dei Hospital. Here I'm with my family. It's my 10th year in Malta. I have 2 children. One is in Form 1 at St. Francis School. The little one is 3 years old, still at childcare. And my husband is here as well. So yeah, life is going on like that.
That's great.
I'm so happy to be here in Malta, with wonderful people, wonderful colleagues. Yeah.
That's great to hear.
Thank
you. So you, if I may ask, how old were you when you came to Malta?
I was 29.
29.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I'm turning 39 in this June. Yeah.
Amazing. So, what brought both your families to Malta specifically? What maybe you don't have to go into the particular circumstances, of course, but maybe why Malta? What did you think it promised your families?
Well, from my end, it was a mix of work and health.
Mm-hmm.
So for my parents, of course, I was too young to really know what was happening, but for my parents, Malta provided more career opportunities. But then aside from that, for me as well, I had some health-related complications earlier on in my life. So Malta, with the air, with the sunny environment, it was very ideal for us to move here.
Great. How about
For me, the career.
Yes.
The door was open then. Less people.
Yes.
From our side. So yeah, I'm from health field. As always, we are in need of workers. So that's how I came. I was in the UK, went back to India, got married, and then I came here.
Yes. Amazing. And what was your first? Do you remember like your first interaction or your first memory, maybe, of hearing Maltese spoken? And was it maybe overwhelming? You were a bit younger, of course, but even growing up, maybe it was a bit overwhelming hearing people and not necessarily understanding what they're saying. I don't know if you have. You were a bit older, so maybe you have that first
Yeah.
memory more. It's more clear.
Well, luckily, I would say the people who I was with, I mean, they are all speaking in English.
Yes,
So very few I have encountered speaking only in Maltese.
Mhm.
But they were elderly, but at the same time, they were very friendly,
Yes.
welcoming, like anziani.
Anziani, esatto,
Yeah.
esatto.
And so like a family, so I didn't feel any not welcoming or
Mhm.
anything. So they were all very, very lovely people. So I didn't feel any strange
Yes.
kind of thing.
Okay.
So
That's great.
yeah. And at church I used to be at MC now.
Okay.
So at church, I mean, they used to come and talk to us as well. So I mean, they were all welcoming.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
How about you, Rhythm? So you were a bit younger, but as in, do you think you had that moment of, I have to learn this new language and?
Well, yes, I think, I mean, also I started off here at school, obviously, from a very young age. And I think especially at that point in their lives, children often, the language they get exposed to most is Maltese here. So I started, I think, in kinder. So most of the children, they used to speak in Maltese. And in the beginning, I did struggle a bit, but then that was, I think I was lucky because I was at that stage in my life where I could grasp a new language very easily. So I learned Maltese, and that's how, I mean, to me, that's why it was also a necessity to learn it, to actually communicate with other people. But it was, yes, I think that was when I was exposed to it, but it gave me a new language, and I'm very grateful for that new language.
Yes. And for example, your children are now growing up in Malta.
Yeah.
And what's the relationship with the Maltese language? Are they learning it? Or?
When my first one was very young, I mean, she came, we skipped kinder 2. So she straight away went to year 1. So I had, it was a misconception, to be honest. I thought I would learn Maltese from her.
Okay.
Unfortunately, her friends, they all speak in English. So the chance for learning Maltese was 0 for her. But I am still, making a point that you have to learn Maltese. You have to go to the university. So for there, you definitely need O levels and A levels. So I'm making sure that they both. I think the little one is getting into it more than the elder one. Yeah, luckily.
Yeah. So you feel like school maybe is not exposing. They're not being exposed enough maybe at school because their friends are all speaking
in English. Yeah.
So it's mostly, I think, the Maltese lessons that they make up for that. So they have.
Yeah, she's doing Maltese for foreigners, so which
Okay.
is a bit less than the normal ones. So yeah. But I made it a point that you have to learn Maltese. There's no other way other than learning the the language, the local language.
Yes.
To win the confidence of the other person whom you're talking to. If you know the language, it's easy, But I love to learn Maltese. I mean, I did my level 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that like? So what was
both
the
medical
course?
Maltese and a
So at
level
university,
1. It was with one was medical Maltese was with University of Malta,
Okay.
and the other one, level 1 Maltese for the foreigners, was with MCAST.
Okay. That's very good.
Yeah.
And do you remember your first lesson, or maybe the first word?
We
or
did
the first,
about the organs.
Okay.
Like, إيديك إيديا إمنيك عينك I mean your and yes.
And did you ever successfully have a full conversation maybe in Maltese with someone? It's okay if not.
I
but
managed. I would say I wouldn't say it's a proper conversation, but I used to work as a community nurse as well.
Okay.
So where I used to speak more than now I'm doing. So yeah, I used to, because I was with old age ones.
Yes.
So I had to go to do the family visits. It was like door to door. I had to go to see the patients door to door. So there I used to have more exposure to speak in Maltese.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. know.
And for both of you, do you feel that you connect more when, for example, if in your case a patient is speaking to you Maltese and you can reply in the way you know best, and in your case even with your friends maybe who are Maltese speaking, do you feel you connect more with that person even though it's not your native language?
Yeah, if you're speaking Maltese, definitely. I mean, the happiness they have in their face when they hear a foreigner speaking in Maltese, that's we cannot express that.
Yes.
So, and it's good that to learn a foreign language. I mean, whatever language you are in that particular country. So, in a way, it's a plus point. Yeah.
Yes. How about you, Rhythm?
Well, for me, definitely as well. To me, it's like, I mean, of course, it's not my native language, but I do feel like it is at the same time a native language. I mean, it's always been that language which I express myself in, and partly, and it's just so, like, I feel like there are some things, for every language this exists, of course, but there are some things that you can only say best in that language, and the language comes with other elements as well. For example, even when I speak in English, I do sometimes, especially when I'm with my friends, tend to drop in those Maltese phrases. So it makes the conversation more complete in a way. And I feel like maybe this is a bit unfortunate sometimes, but I don't usually have full conversations in Maltese. It's usually a mix of the two. And that mix, I think, is like the sweet spot where it's like I can actually express myself. And at the same time, every time I speak Maltese, I also feel it's special because it's like, it's a special language. Also, the very composition of the language itself, it's always fascinated me, the Semitic roots, and it's just so beautiful to me to speak in it. And it's as if we have this own, I mean, English is a very widely spoken language, but then when you speak Maltese, it's like this niche language. So it's definitely very special, yes.
So you know 3 languages, taf il-Malti, l-Inglis u l-Indu.
Well, technically, għax jien l-Inglis, il-Malti, ma fl-Indija hemm ħafna l-Inglis, so jien nitkellem bil-Hindi u bil-Punjabi għax ommi missieri minn partijiet differenti.
So 4 languages. How about you? So we know English?
English, and our native language is Malayalam.
Okay, so it's
Hindi.
And Hindi.
Definitely.
I think Hindi is
it's our national language.
It's the national one, yes.
Yeah, and we have our state languages as well. And I have some Tamil, which is our neighboring state language, and another one, Kannada, which is another language where I studied. So yeah,
good.
So 5.
Yeah, 5 languages. That's very impressive. In Malta, most people only know 2. So, and it's beautiful to go into another culture and sort of even appreciating and absorbing it and hearing it. That's a beautiful thing in itself as well. Was there a moment, especially for you, maybe that where you realized you had become comfortable speaking Maltese? Your Maltese is very good. Every time I heard you speak in Maltese, I know you've spoken in Parliament in Maltese, for example, in your activism work. Was there a moment you said, and now you mentioned as well that some thoughts and some things you want to express, you say them in Maltese. Was there this moment when you said, I'm comfortable with this language?
Well, I think there wasn't a specific moment because in a way when I learned it, as I said, out of necessity. So then it just it was a gradual journey, but then there was no specific element. But, well, I think at the same time, like when I was around year 1, year 2, that was when I was like, actually I had grasped the language. So then that was when I was like, okay, now the Maltese language is also like a real part of my identity. So then that, I would say, was the, so to speak, moment when I felt that.
And at home, what languages do you speak? So your parents are familiar with Maltese or maybe less?
Well, they can't speak it fluently, but they can understand to an
Okay,
extent, and they are trying to learn it. But at home, well, I speak Hindi with my father and Punjabi
yes,
with
yes.
my mother, but they're very similar languages, so we can all understand all the
Exactly.
languages. So really and truly, it ends up being like a mixture of
Yes,
different
yes.
languages.
For those hearing us, għalmen tisma tipo anka tmur l-Italja, sibom daw differenzi ġifiri bej reġjun u ieħor, Napolitan ma jifhimx Toskan u vice versa, jew Siċiljani ġifiri. Mhix xi ħaġa speċifik li ta' barra minn hawn mhix xi ħaġa li maħniex familjari daqshekk magħha laqqas. Malta għandna dialetti ma pers li żgħar forsi mhumiex daqshekk hekk bħal mi fil-każ tal-Indja li huwa pajjiż kbir ħafna. Because even that sometimes we tend to put every person who's Indian in one category, but there are different languages as we said, different cultures, so subcultures, and so I find that very fascinating. So in Maltese, since we're small, maybe we're a bit short-sighted about that, so we tend to think everyone's the same, but even here in Malta people are different. Anyway, another question, so you know multiple languages, what language do you think you dream in? So what's the language you think that you think with, and
Definitely the native language.
which one?
Which is
So,
Malayalam.
Malayalam.
Yeah.
So you'd say even so at home you speak Malayalam only?
With my husband.
Okay, with your husband.
But with children, English. In
Okay,
English.
Okay. But they're learning. I think they hear you speaking, so
Yes.
probably
The
they
little
grasp
one,
it.
it's very hard for her to understand our language.
Okay.
The first one, yeah.
And do you
She
want
can understand
Uh-huh.
our language, yeah. But
and
to
do you
speak-
want to to make an effort sort of for them to
Learn
grasp
my
my yes.
native? Yeah. Now I'm teaching the little one.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's important as well, because it's also their roots, no? As in
Exactly.
even though
When
they're
they
growing
go,
up.
yeah,
here. Yes.
they need to learn.
And what language do you dream in and think in?
Actually, when I was young, I believe there was a period when I used to think in Maltese. You can ask my parents; they were so shocked. But now I'm actually very conscious of that. That's something I've thought about a lot. So I try to make it a point to actually, well, thinking. There's not really a particular language I'd say you think in, but still to kind of think about different languages. So kind of some days, like when I'm writing something or I don't know, rehearsing for a speech or whatever, I try to vary it. Like sometimes I think in English, sometimes in Maltese. So it's a multitude of languages. I don't think I can really single one
Pinpoint
out.
one,
It's a very mood dependent thing as
Yeah.
well.
And I think that affects a lot the way you see the world. So the fact that you can understand the world in different terms, in different language, in
Yes.
different words, and it makes you more open to the world as well.
Definitely.
It's true.
So yeah, I'm very jealous because I only know Maltese and English. But I have a great fascination with languages. So I really admire people who sort of grasp all these. I don't know. I know it's natural because you grow up in it and it's necessity as well. But it's really like something that fascinates me a lot. Okay, so when you're maybe angry or upset, so these big emotions, how do you express them? Because we Maltese tend to say, because there are two arguments. So we either say that since it's our native language, it's more emotional and we express ourselves more with it, and others say that the language in itself is expressive, so we use that. So even English-speaking people revert to Maltese. So I'm trying to understand if it's the nature of Maltese that makes it sort of the anger language, or if it's just a personal thing where we resort to our native language. What's your experience with that? So when you get angry and
I get angry, honestly speaking, to my husband in English, swearing.
okay. So when you resort to English,
Yeah. That is more comfortable, when you come to anger. Yeah, that is.
And do you think that it's because English gives you something with that emotion that
Yeah, because
your native
when I
language
was
count?
young, my parents, they used to teach me like no swearing.
Okay,
So
okay.
like very good,
Yes,
way of.
yes, yes.
In English, you have a door open for a wide variety of.
Yeah, so
So-
it's sort of a bypass to
Yeah.
it's a cheat code.
Yeah.
How about your rhythm? Do you ever get angry, first of all?
Definitely.
If you're in activism, you will probably
Oh,
get angry
yes.
quite a lot. Or frustrated, let's say frustrated.
Yes, the better word, yes.
What's your frustration language?
I think once again it's a mixture of languages. Like, I think out of English and Maltese is a more dominant one. Like, even when I'm with my friends and
Okay.
we're like very passionate about something, we tend to switch, especially to the short phrases in Maltese, I do feel like it's a more expressive language sometimes. But then when I'm at home, my native languages take precedence sometimes. I think it's, even when I'm at home, then sometimes I'll actually throw in English words to express myself in certain impassioned scenarios. So it's always, I feel like, I don't know, it's a strange observation, at least it applies to me, that whatever language I'm speaking in, to kind of put more emphasis, I'll throw in a different language.
Okay.
So it's a weird mixture.
I think it happens to us when, for example, we're angry with someone in English and then we throw in a Maltese word to go. But yes, I get this the short phrase thing.
Yes.
But and even I think the other way around. So if someone's getting angry in Maltese, I might throw
Yes.
rude word in English. So I think that makes sense. Even for us in our case. In your case again, so because you know Maltese, do you think that you're it's a different version of you when you speak in Maltese? So maybe you use Maltese in a particular context, and that forms the way the persona people see when you're speaking Maltese. I know it's a big question, but
I think so. I definitely think that the language you're speaking in affects how you are. I mean, to me, I got exposed to Maltese. I mean, I started off like being exposed to it in an informal sphere, but then as I grew, I feel like my exposure to Maltese became limited to the formal sense, so in the Maltese lessons, because unfortunately that's another thing, that I didn't get exposed to as much Maltese kind of among my peers as I would have liked to. So then my Maltese became very formal.
Okay.
So as in there was a time when I could only speak the essay kind of Maltese. So then when I used to speak in Maltese, then you also used to get the essay kind of rhythm.
Yes.
So now that's changing, because now I've gone to sixth form, I've had a different group of friends, and we're a group that speaks more Maltese. So kind of I'm getting that informal touch back. But in that period where I was sticking strictly to formal Maltese, I was definitely a different kind of person when I spoke the language. Very, very formal, very
You're
fancy.
Miss Rhythm.
Exactly. Yes.
You went to play rhythm. You were Miss Rhythm Garg.
Exactly.
Amazing. So just one last question before we go to the break, sort of. When you were learning Maltese, Maltese has some unique sounds, like all languages. Were there some sounds which you found particularly difficult to grasp? Maybe the
I was about to say that I used to call it like Maltese H, English H, and the GH.
the ein.
The ein.
Ein.
So to say that there was some funny moments at work, I used to say Yahra, and instead of Yahra, I used to say Yahra. Nobody used to correct me. One fine day, two of my colleagues, they were talking to each other themselves.
Yes.
Did you hear the same thing what I heard? What Lucy said?
It's quite
Yahra.
it's quite
And then the other one came to correct me. It's not Yahra, it's Yahra.
Yes.
So that's a big difference. So then
Yeah, some words that one sound makes a
big
world of
difference,
difference.
Yeah.
Great. So let's go to a break, and then we'll be back. Mela, għandu għal-reklami, nkunu ma'kom dal-waqt, għankomplu nitkellmu ma' Rhythm u Lucy, ibqaw hemmhekk għax fadal iktar x'niddiskutu.
Top il-full ma' Bradley Kakija.
Merħba lura għal Top il-Full. Illum għandna magħna żewġ mistednin mill-komunità Indjana f'Malta biex nifhmu daqsxejn l-esperjenza tagħhom mal-lingwa, mal-Malti, forsi b'mod iktar speċifiku, u anke nifhmu daqsxejn aħjar kif jinteraġixxu mal-Malti, kif il-lingwa tagħhom, il-lingwi għax għandhom jitkellmu ħafna lingwi, kif jesprimu rwieħhom lingwi differenti, anke biex nifhmu daqsxejn l-esperjenza tagħhom bħala nies li forsi aħna li qed jagħmlu dar f'Malta, imma forsi aħna mhux dejjem nifhmu dik ir-relazzjoni tagħhom ma' Malta u mal-pajjiż tagħhom. Allura llum qed nippruvaw kemm jista' jkun nifhmu dawn iċ-ċirkustanzi, anke forsi biex bħala poplu ma nibqgħux niġġudikaw daqskemm niġġudikaw. Ħankun qed nistaqsihom bl-Ingliż għal min kien qed jisma'na minn qabel konna nagħmlu intervista bl-Ingliż għalli kulħadd ikun komdu. Rhythm għandha Malti tajjeb ħafna, jiġifieri nistgħu kieku nitkellmu bil-Malti, ma Lucy il-Malti tagħha għadha tidraħna iktar. Allura kulħadd ikun komdu u nirrikorru għall-Ingliż. So, when you mentioned that you switch between languages when expressing yourself. In your case, do you find yourself code switching frequently? So, switching from one language to another?
Maybe I would say. I mean, sometimes I tend to say Maltese as well, like
Yes.
mela, those things, and like mushek. So those things in our daily conversations, not a lot.
So
but
the short phrases,
yeah,
as
short
Rhythm
phrases,
mentioned as well.
yes.
And
So,
how do you think? So, for example, do you have a story, a particular story? If it doesn't come to mind immediately, we can skip to a question and come back to it. Maybe a story where you had an interaction with a patient. For those who are not hearing the first half, Lucy's a nurse. So, did you ever have an interaction with a patient that sort of was funny, particularly funny maybe, because you were trying to communicate in Maltese, or maybe they didn't understand you, or you didn't understand them? I'm not sure if you had
it's like
something comes to mind.
yeah. Where we have like before the ophthalmic surgery,
Okay.
we need to ask them about, are you allergic to any medicines? Like, oh no, cutting now.
It's okay.
Kollox jaqbel miegħek.
Kollox jaqbel miegħek,
And then they have to say if they are allergic
Yes,
to
yes.
certain medicine, yeah or no. And some say allergic to electricity bills, or some say to wife, Mara. And I used to say, why do they say? And the others laugh. And then, my colleagues used to explain me.
The sarcasm sort of.
Exactly. So at first, I never used to understand. But then when they say, I understand, and, I understand the funny part
Yes,
of that.
yes.
And yeah.
Because sometimes the language, you first learn it literally, so you get the literal meaning of things, and then you start understanding the connotations and the nuances.
Yeah, and when they say titkellem bil-Malti, oh my God, when they say nara and not ftit mux kollox, yeah. When we speak in Maltese, their happiness and their very kind of like closeness. You have a bond between you and your patient.
Because for them, I think it's they have an emotion
Exactly, a
connected
bonding,
to it.
yeah.
It's the language they grew up speaking.
Exactly.
So it helps build that bond as well.
Yeah.
And I think language can be the thing that unites us and the thing that divides us a lot. So I've spoken with people coming from different countries. I've spoken with a nurse, in fact, in another episode. He comes from Sicily, and he's told me sort of when he speaks to patients in Maltese, it's instantly there's this connection sort
Yeah.
of, because they feel understood, I think, as well in that way. Rhythm, when you speak in Maltese, what's the usual reaction you get? Because maybe they would know that they would hear your name and they would say it's not Maltese. What's the most common reaction, sort of?
That's a very good question. I think there's definitely sometimes just a change of attitude, like just as soon as you speak in Maltese, like they'll ask a question and I reply in Maltese, and then it's like the whole demeanor changes. But also I remember this instance where someone was, I don't know, I was just speaking to someone and then I replied to her in Maltese, and then like daret u qalet inx lingwa tkellimtni. So they just do like a double take and they're like, did I hear correctly? So there's definitely a whole change of
Like surprise,
Exact,
surprise sort of. And so you said sort of there's this surprise as well. And was there any a particular moment where you were someone was speaking Maltese thinking you wouldn't understand, but you understood everything?
Not completely, yeah. There are certain moments like lohra. I mean, when they say, you know, certain things, and when we enter, it's like lohra, another one came, and so yeah, there are certain incidents. Quite a lot,
but you understand what they're saying in that case. So
I wouldn't say I understand them completely,
Yes,
but
yes.
I could understand. I mean, most of the thing.
Yes.
Those scenarios, yeah.
Yes.
Some are very pleasant ones, some are not good, yeah. So
Okay,
yeah, mixture of those.
And how about you, Rhythm? So
Well, I do feel a bit mean sometimes when the person doesn't know that I speak Maltese, but like it's happened, like sometimes I get a cab if I'm getting really late to go somewhere, and the person, if they're a Maltese driver, they would be like on the phone or whatever, and they'd be speaking in Maltese, and then before I leave the cab, I'll turn to them and be like, Lodwa tajba, grazzi ħafna dallu. So
yeah, and they would probably go, already.
But nothing incriminating yet. So.
No, that's great.
No.
That's great to hear. Great. So I think this is also a big question. So if someone were to ask you now in this point in your life where you're from, what would you say?
In India.
India. So you still go, even though your children are being raised here now. You're building a home. You're in Malta.
I have my own home here.
Yes. So, as in you're building your family is being built here. So you'd still say India.
Well, if you ask the nationality,
yes.
kind of, yeah.
But where do you
definitely.
feel your heart is, especially? I know it's a bit. You can say both. You can say.
Yeah. I mean, I would say both. Because at one point when I came here, I wanted to go back to the UK.
Okay.
But then, I don't know. I did my exam. I cleared everything. I literally cleared everything, and I told my husband at one point, "No, I'm not going back there, Malta. I'm going to stay here because it's, when you compare Malta, it's more so."
And do you feel
Malta.
Do you feel at home here?
Yes, very much.
That's great to hear.
Yeah. It's been almost 4 years since I went back, but thanks to the social medias and everything, now we can contact to our parents back home.
Yes.
So
that makes it a bit easier as well.
Yes.
Because
you don't feel you're far.
You leave a life behind, no?
Exactly.
And it's not easy that. And you were older, so at 29, I'm still 22. If I leave Malta, I think I would have a crisis. I would be homesick. So yeah. And how about your Rhythm?
That's a question I think about quite a lot, actually. I think today, if you ask me where I'm from, I would say Malta, and I have said that on when I'm filling in forms or whatever. It's because I'm 17. I've spent the very vast majority of my life living here.
14 years, no?
Is
Yeah,
that? And even that, I mean, I wasn't born in India, I was born in the UK.
Okay.
And then I moved to Singapore, then I came to Malta. So it's like
So your
Malta
parents
is-
are
exactly.
Indian? Okay.
And it's, I identify with Malta. I mean, India is definitely a huge aspect of my identity, but I think at this point in time, Malta is what I would call my home. As in, a part of my heart always has been and always will belong to India, but that's the part that's related to my parents, not as much as to the country. So I do think that Malta is my home today, but there will always be that little corner of my heart that is India.
Yeah. And do you feel, both of you, do you feel you have any relationship with the UK and with Singapore as well in your case? Do you feel like you belong there as well?
Well, I went there to London first, and then I moved to Cumbria.
Okay.
So Cumbria is always close to my heart, but London, who knows?
No.
No, I mean, if you ask me where would you like to go next, Cumbria, I would say.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, there is still, I mean, the people, they were so welcoming and so
That's great.
lovely people. So yeah, that's why I loved that place.
So you feel connected to that place as well?
Yeah, yeah.
So you have sort of these
Yeah,
three
but if you ask
places.
my children, as Rhythm said, they would say Malta would be there. Malta would
They
be
were
there.
born here, both of them?
Little one born.
The little one.
She was born here, but elder one, she was born in India.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So their answer would be the same.
Great. And how about you with the UK and Singapore? How long did you stay in each? As in,
UK, I think both of them like a year and a half, somewhere
so
around
then
that.
at 3 you were
Is that
1 year and a half, 1 year and a half.
one
and
year?
it's
Yes. Is
Okay.
Singapore definitely not? I mean, I don't even really remember.
I don't
it.
think you.
UK, it matters to me in that it's my birthplace, but
Yes.
other than that, I don't think I have any as that special affinity towards it. I mean, I think I would love to go and live there, especially education-wise. I mean, right now I'm looking at universities and I see it as a very good place, but other than that, not really.
Is there anything, maybe this is more for you, Lucy, is there anything about India that feels more precious to you because you're not in India, so you can appreciate it from the outside maybe?
Definitely, it's my motherland.
Yes.
So it always comes first.
Yes. So is there anything particular which you sort of appreciate more maybe an aspect of culture, an aspect of, I don't know, maybe some food?
Everything I would say. I mean, if you ask which comes first, I mean, definitely the food, culture, tradition, everything, even though it's changing, but when you compare with another country, with any sort of things, I would say India is always comes first, yeah.
If I ever... go ahead.
And even in India, you have different places, like...
Yes.
different places. We have 28 states. Even in each state, we have like 20 or 30 districts, kind of. In that districts, you have different places.
Yes.
Towns and villages, everything.
And they're all different from each other.
Everyone is different from each other. So it depends which part, again, if you
maybe
ask in India.
your home place.
Yeah, I would love, the food, the clothes, but weather definitely it's changing. It's scorching hot, I think. So weather-wise, I wouldn't prefer to go at this moment, but otherwise, yeah. I mean, I belong to there, So in every aspect, in whatever aspect you say, I mean, I love my country.
That's great. I would, if I ever go live abroad, I would definitely miss Figolli and
right.
and a good timpana. I would definitely miss those things as well. And have you ever been to India in your?
Yes, many times.
And how does that feel? So, do people look at you differently there? Maybe because you're coming from.
No, No, I wouldn't say so. I think you can't really tell once you're there, especially since I speak the language. But then that's another thing. Like, as soon as I land in India and I hear like my native language, because it is at the end of the day my mother tongue, I hear it spoken just so widely. It's a different feeling, and I don't feel it anywhere else. Although, to be fair, then when for example, we go abroad to other places, then when I come back to Malta, that's a similar effect of hearing Maltese everywhere. But in India, it's especially, I don't hear it here. I mean, with my parents, I speak my language, but other than that, on such a large scale, there's nowhere else. But then again, even in India, that's only true for a few places.
Yes.
And then, of course, there's the rest of my family in India, so that's, of course, an element of it that cannot be paralleled.
Yeah. And have you visited India recently, maybe?
It's been 4 years since.
4 years. And did people maybe notice that you were different, or you were changed in some way? Or once you're there...
because back home, you don't find like dressing up way. The costume will be different.
Okay.
It's called like churidar. It's like that's another.
What's it called?
Churidar and sari.
Okay.
It's a long piece of drape where you drape it in a certain way.
Okay.
So, and now we are used to this trousers and t-shirts or whatever. So, which is very comfortable for us.
Yes,
and when you use that on a daily basis, for example, you go for a vacation for 1 month. And you maybe tend to use always this one, the same t-shirt and trousers.
Yes.
So people might look at you.
I can imagine.
Even though it's changing, but since you're not using that traditional thing, they might, okay, she came back and she still has that culture,
yes,
you know. But yeah, maybe if my children go back, they might prefer like burgers or French fries, and I have to find, French fries. I'm from a village side.
Okay.
So it's a fishing village.
Yes.
It's changing. Recently there are a lot of things has changed. So if I go now, maybe I can find the shops where you can get burgers, French fries, and fish and chips, everything. But before we never had that. We had to travel a bit.
Yes. Okay.
To get those junk foods and all.
It was more of a luxury sort of.
Exactly. So now, if we find, it will be easy, because children who are born and brought up here might not find it very easy living there.
Yes.
It's a difference. It's a difference.
And I think it was better when you were younger, because you could go you had to travel to get the burger and chips.
Yeah.
And then on the way back you can burn some calories and you walk it back.
Exactly.
Now they're too close. So
very
you
close.
You can't burn the calories.
Yes. Everything is at fingertip.
Great. So, Rhythm, I mentioned earlier that you had spoken in Parliament, and it was a news item as well. Maybe for those hearing us who know, you had spoken about the air quality and the situation in Malta, and you did that in Maltese. Why did you feel like Maltese in that scenario was the language to resort to?
To me, if you're standing in a country's parliament, it's just to get your voice more across. Malta's a bilingual country, of course, but Maltese is still the heart of the country. It's the national language, so there couldn't have been a better medium to express myself. And then at that point, I went there and I didn't know what language I was meant to speak.
Okay.
So I was only... That whole experience was actually quite impromptu, because I went there and I thought I was being invited as an observer. So then when I was handed the mic, I was like, what? But then that's why I was actually very reluctant, because at that point my Maltese was also not very good. And I think if you listen back to that speech, I was very scared. I was terrified, really. But I knew that Maltese was... Thank you. I knew that Maltese, I'd rather say something's wrong, mispronounce a few words, stumble a bit, but still be speaking in the language. But because I think that to actually impact people, I had to say it in that language. And especially, I was standing there in the country that is my home, the country that I was speaking about, the country that I wanted to change from a climatic point of view. So I had to speak the country's language. So that's why I felt that I had to speak in Maltese.
You felt it's the best way to get to people.
Exactly.
That's great. If you ever have children, maybe eventually, would you want what languages would you speak to them with? I know it's maybe it's far away, but
I would. Well, it depends where I am at that moment. I mean, I never know, but I would definitely want them to learn Maltese, especially because it's definitely, I think, to me, I see Maltese as a bit of a code language as well, in that not a lot of people in the world speak it, which is, of course, very unfortunate, and I wish it wasn't the case, but it is what it is.
It's because we are...
Exactly.
It's a small island, like...
Exactly.
There are tribes who have their own languages and not many people speak them. So
yes, so that's
not an
why.
exception, sort of.
So that's why I'd want them definitely to learn Maltese, but then I'd want them to learn the Indian languages that I speak as well. English, I would probably not speak to them in English myself, because I feel like we live in such a global world that they learn it externally. And that's what my parents did with me. We don't speak English at home because they knew that I'd get it from elsewhere. So I would make it a point to kind of stress on the Indian languages and also Maltese.
Okay. So you don't feel like Maltese sort of they'll get it from school?
I don't know, because to be very honest, I mean, I spent half of my schooling in a government school, and then a half of it in a private school, and then now I'm at a church school, St. Aloysius.
All three options.
Exactly. So I do think that from school I did not get exposed to as much Maltese as I would have liked to. So I don't think that school is necessarily the best avenue to grasp Maltese. Exactly, it's not enough.
Okay. A question for both of you. Is there a particular word or expression in Maltese, maybe for you even more, because you don't use it regularly, maybe, that you genuinely love and use frequently? Mela, right? Mela. Of course it's Mela.
Tayyab, prosse. Yeah.
I think Mela is... because we tend to associate it with different contexts.
Exactly.
Automatically it gets used.
Mela.
Is there maybe in your case rhythm?
One. I think there's, the Mela and the Tar, obviously. But then I think, like, not very positive ones, but like Matarash or like Istra. Like, they're the ones that really bring, the emphasis, and there are certain phrases in Maltese which you can't find direct translations for in English. So those, I think.
That's great. Just so time passed, but do you have maybe something to say to people who are listening when it comes to sort of encouraging them to understand that people who come here are trying their best to integrate into society, even to learn the language and to pass it on to their children? Is there something you want to say to those people? Maybe you can say it in Maltese rhythm, so it can impact them more. Who wants to start off? Another impromptu speech here, rhythm. I'm sorry.
Ma konċi preparata, imma nasib just għatuna ċans, ippruvaw iftħu il-qalb ta'kom biex forsi tippruvaw tifhmuna, għax aħna nippruvaw nifhmukom u nippruvaw ħafna minna li, per eżempju, il-lingwa, il-kultura insiru parti minna, ma miex faċli meta tmur f'pajjiż ġdid, kollox ġdid u għandek ħafna responsabiltajiet, għandek ix-xogħol, għandek il-familja. mhuwiex faċli li mbagħad tintegra wkoll u tagħmel dak kollu li tista', imma xorta nippruvaw u just għandna bżonn li intkom ukoll tagħmlu l-parti tagħkom biex għax l-integrazzjoni it's a two-way process, għax
Ekku.
aħna nippruvaw ma mbagħad hemm bżonn li issir miż-żewġ naħat. So just iftħu qalbkom u għatuna ċans.
Eżatt.
Verament nistgħu nagħmlu l-soċjetà sabiħa ħafna. U dik jiżbuħija ta' soċjetà li tant kemm aħna diversi, imma xorta jrid ikun hemm dik l-unità.
Ekku. Prosit. Thank you ħafna. How about you? Do you have a...
I would like to take this as a two-way thing. I mean, for a child, for a school-going child, it's very easy to learn a new language.
Yes.
But for an adult, their learning process is a bit slow.
Of course.
So for them, they need time. And, if you have colleagues who are working with, who are foreigner, so you can start learning in Maltese itself and encourage them. Integration is very, very important. So even when you have a grandchild who is going to a school where he or she has a foreign student, they can tell their grandchildren or child, speak to them or ask them how are they doing if they come to know, and tell them to encourage them to speak in Maltese. And even your colleague or whoever it may be, you can conversate, like for example greeting them in Maltese and tell them if you greet like that you have to respond in this way. So give them opportunity to learn.
Yes.
Not the complex ones, like we go step by step.
Of course.
We go step by step, and even the government is doing good thing to teach the Maltese to the foreigners. So we are in the process, which
Yes.
is in a good way, thank God. So yeah, slowly, but we are into it.
Yes.
It's a positive thing.
Mhm.
So that's all. I mean, yeah.
That's
And
right.
always it's a good thing to learn a foreign language wherever you are. So try to learn the native language.
So you can
And
connect with those people more. as well.
Exactly. And Maltese people, thank you for your welcoming and accept how you accepted us when we came here. I know it's a bit crowded, but yeah. Thank you once again.
And thank you very much for those beautiful words and for accepting to be on this program today. So thank you Rhythm, thank you Lucy.
Thank you.
Grazzi wkoll lilkom tal-li smajtuna u tal-li wkoll smajtu l-esperjenzi ta' Rhythm u Lucy. Grazzi lit tekniku tagħna Josef li għaċċerta li nidru nistamaw kemm jista' jkun sbieħ. Sa ma nerġgħu niltaqgħu jiena Bradley Kakija, jien narakom il-ġimgħa d-dieħla. Ħajr, grazzi u thank you. Saħħa, ciao u bye. And maybe you can add in your native language bye and thank you. How would you say that?
Nadni, that means thank you. And bye. Bye is bye.
Bye is bye, that's okay.
Xukrija or lak tanwa tarda te afma fermi lange?
What they said. Grazzi ħafna, niltaqgħu l-ġimgħa d-dieħla.
Top il-full ma' Bradley Kakija.